Well, here it is, our final game of the 2020-2021 high school football season. And as always, we plan to go out on a high. It's the Class 6A Division I state semifinal between the Duncanville Panthers and the Southlake Carroll Dragons. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Globe Life Park. Yes, a football stadium now alongside Ladarrin McLane. I'm Doug Anderson, and LD, these two teams have a history, as we know. They've met the last 2 years in the playoffs, with Duncanville getting the better of those games. But this is a brand new season, two brand new teams.
Yeah, we got plenty of storylines to talk between these two programs, two dominant programs in the history of Texas high school football. But when you look at it, X's and O's, it comes down to Southlake Carroll's high-powered offense and the dominating defense of Duncanville. Who's going to impose that will to get to the state championship?
You talk about offenses, and we've got to talk about the quarterbacks in this matchup, because both were nearly perfect last week in their playoff games. Grayson James doing it against DeSoto.
Yeah, this kid here has come on and taken the leadership mantle. He's got the full skill set. He can run, he can throw. I like what he does mentally with the football. He is a dual threat quarterback. The Dragons better be ready for him this afternoon.
And as for Carroll, the Dragons were taking on a tough Trinity Trojans ball club, and look what Quinn Ewers did. Almost did not miss a pass.
You know, it's hard to do that against air, let alone some of the better defenses in the playoffs. This kid can absolutely spin the football. The top player in the nation at the quarterback position. Look for him, folks. If you haven't watched him, you are in a treat today to watch Quinn Ewers.
Buckeye fans should be interested, because he is committed to Ohio State. We've got a great one coming your way. Our man on the field, Chris Mycoskie, will take a look at the head coaches. Kind of an unusual matchup today, and we'll have kickoff coming your way next on CW33. The Dragons and the Panthers are on the field and ready to go. And before they do, let's send it down to the field and check in with Chris Mycoskie.
Doug, Riley Dodge announced on Tuesday that he tested positive for COVID-19. That meant he would miss today's state semifinal game. I talked to him yesterday. He said he had a couple of bad days on the front end, but Thursday and Friday were much better. He's getting his taste and smell back. He's torn up not to be here, but fully confident in the staff, including acting head coach Lee Munn, who's in his third season at Carroll. Duncanville coach Reginald Sample said he talked to Riley earlier in the week to give his well wishes. Plenty of respect on both ends of that call. It is extremely unusual to face someone 3 years in a row so deep into the playoffs, and Samples knows the Panthers will have their hands full, especially with the Dragon passing attack, Doug.
Yes, indeed. We look forward to seeing Mr. Ewers and what he can do against this very good Duncanville defense. That is about to happen, because Duncanville will be kicking off to start the game. And two dangerous return men, Brady Boyd and Landon Sampson, back to receive for the Dragons. It is Brady Boyd across the 20, and he will take it out of bounds around the 27-yard line. Let's take a look now at our keys to the game. Starting off with Duncanville, they have to keep their mind on the mission. They cannot look past this Dragon team to a potential state championship game next week. Success on first downs, that's going to be key, and trust your depth. This team is as deep as they come. They have to rely on that.
Yeah, this offense and the Carroll Dragons have to execute early and often, but they've got to win the third phase. Special teams, and the mighty Quinn Ewers, the top player in the nation, has got to be on his A game here this afternoon.
Very good sophomore running back for the Dragons. Takes the handoff to start the game. Owen Allen. Allen picks up about 6 on first down. Coming into the game, 1,800 yards rushing for the sophomore and 24 touchdowns. And there you see the numbers on Ewers. Those numbers a little misleading. We'll tell you why, as Allen takes the handoff and will pick up about a yard, maybe 2. Ewers was injured for much of this season, had surgery, in fact, and it was a long road back for him. But once he came back, he picked up right where he left off.
He sure has. That first playoff game, he came back. He kind of got his sea legs, And then he just went on an absolute tear in consecutive weeks back-to-back, and it culminated last week against a thrashing against Euless Trinity with 6 touchdowns and 450 yards passing.
Ewers' first pass of the afternoon incomplete, intended for Brady Boyd, and that'll bring up 4th down.
You kind of see the strategy at first with Duncanville. They're going to play their base defense because they feel they have the same type of athletes in the defensive back end. They can match up man-to-man, and we know what that front 7 of Duncanville can do. They can literally dominate a game, and this is a good opening series here by the Duncanville defense.
Kicker Joe McFadden, the 44-yard average, will send one deep to Roderick Daniels. He backs up to about the 10-yard line, and he will be wrapped up. Dropped for no gain on the return after a 51-yard punt. Daniels covered up by the Dragons special teams unit led by Austin Page.
And that's part of winning the third phase, right? You've got to be able to win the special teams because this is where Duncanville, with Roderick Daniels returning kicks, can really change the tone and put 6 points on the board in a hurry. That's a great job by the Dragons to get down and cover.
One of my favorite players the last 3 years, Roderick Daniels, committed to SMU, assigned with them in the signing period, and can't wait to see what he does as a Mustang, but still has a little bit of business left with these Panthers. And there you see the season numbers on Grayson James. What a productive season for the transfer from John Paul II. James rolls out on 1st down, finds Daniels. And Daniels up near the 1st down marker, about a 10-yard gain.
You're talking about Grayson James. You know, he transferred into Duncanville, and it seems like he's been there like 2 or 3 years in this offense. And that's not an easy thing to do for a quarterback, but that just shows you how advanced and skillful he is, and he's the perfect fit in this offense. They've always wanted a quarterback, even with Jaquindon Jackson. They wanted somebody to attack vertically in the passing game. They have it, and he can also run the ball.
Hand off to Malachi Medlock, and Medlock, kind of the unsung hero of this Duncanville offense. He picks up 5. He doesn't get the recognition or the accolades that some of the other blue chip athletes do, but week in and week out, he is so consistent.
Well, he is. He had a tough go last week against DeSoto. 12 carries, 50 yards, but he did have 2 touchdowns. They need that extra dimension in this offense this afternoon.
Catch by Lontrell Turner. Ball came loose at the end of the play. What do the officials say? They're pointing Carroll's direction. The Dragons have the football. Coming up from the pile with the pigskin is Barrett Baker, the middle linebacker.
Now, this is just great team pursuit. First of all, they get exactly what they want offensively out in open space, and then you see the green shirts fly to the ball, and you see the face mask right there at the end of Josh Spaeth put right there at the end, and that's what jars the ball loose. And it's a little bit of a delayed reaction. Nobody knew what went on, but that's good awareness to jump on it, and it's Southlake Carroll ball here with some business here.
Ewers operating out of the gun. Surveys and throws one downfield, has a man, Boyd, incomplete. Brady Boyd was open. Jordan Crook, the middle linebacker, was the only one around him, but pass sailed a little bit for Ewers on 1st down.
And there's that vertical passing game that Southlake Carroll is almost proficient at. I mean, there's nothing really that they can't do in terms of the passing game. It's a matter of this offensive line protecting their quarterback enough and allowing this skillful core of receivers to do work against this secondary.
Ewers will throw again, this time knocked down. Good job in the secondary as Duncanville knocks the pass away. Kendrick Madison. The intended receiver was Brady Boyd.
Yeah, these cornerbacks, they've got to have their best game because if they're going to be singled up on the outside. Because they do that, these safeties have to be good in run support, but really the main thing is their front 4 or even their 7 getting pressure back to the quarterback. And if they can do that, that's a recipe of success for this defense.
Hand off to Allen. Allen finds a hole and breaks a tackle and rumbles all the way down inside the 20-yard line. I gave him 17 and a first down.
Now look at the power running here. This is just a great job of getting man-to-man. And once you can get Allen to the next level, he's 6 foot, 195 pounds. He's a solid, low-to-the-ground type runner. And that's a tough tackle, even in the secondary for this defense.
Allen will take the handoff from the 15. He carries to the 10. Second down and 5 coming up.
Now this offensive line going about 270 pounds per man. And they're matched up against a very physical defense. We're going to talk plenty about this defense, but they've got some big bodies up front. Quincy Wright, 285. Christian Whitfield at 270 in the interior of that defense. So this offensive line against this defensive line is an early storyline that we need to keep an eye on now.
Landon Sampson is in the backfield for the moment with Ewers and Owen Allen. Now he splits to the slot. Ewers with time. He'll run inside the 5 and diving toward the end zone down at the 1-yard line. 10-yard run for Quinn Ewers, first and goal for the Dragons.
Now this is what makes him the top player of the nation, because he reads the coverage perfectly. Now this is just good defense first and foremost, but they forget about the quarterback. No contain there, and he just sidesteps one of the best defensive players in Kendrick Blackshire, and he almost gets that thing in the end zone.
Jadarius Thursby made the touchdown-saving tackle for the Panthers. Ewers hands off to Allen, and Allen won't be denied. The sophomore with his 25th touchdown of the year, and it puts Carroll on the board first, 6-0.
Well, this just all starts up front. Watch the left side, 61, Walker Anderson. Look at him. He's blocking 2 Duncanville Panthers, and that freed up the left tackle, Joey Baker, 6'4", 250 to get to the next level, but by then the damage was done. And Owen Allen gets in for the first touchdown of the game.
UConn signee Joe McFadden puts the extra point up, and it's good. And with 7:44 remaining in the first, Duncanville.
7:44 remaining in the first quarter. Southlake Carroll gets on the board first. It's 7-0 over Duncanville. Owen Allen with his 25th touchdown of his sophomore campaign. He has over 3,000 career rushing yards, and he is still not done with his sophomore season. He told the Dallas Morning News that he knew he needed to make a huge jump from last year to now in both playing ability and in leadership. That motivation pushed him throughout the offseason, Doug.
He is certainly a young man with a great head on his shoulders. I've heard him in post-game interviews on the radio broadcast for Carroll, and he sounds like a future president of the United States. Very smart young man for a sophomore, and obviously very talented as well. Short kick taken by Chris Hicks at the 20-yard line. Hicks going all the way across the field, trying to turn the corner, and out of bounds at around the 27-yard line. Carroll comes in as one of the top passing units in the Metroplex, but on that opening drive, LD, they did it with the running game.
Well, they'll tell you, and if you even ask Coach Riley Dodge, if you were to text him, he's going to run the football first, but that sets up what they're able to do in the passing game. But when you challenge your offensive line to meet the challenge of this Duncanville defensive line, they've met that test here, especially on that drive there.
The Dragons do it all well. They run for over 200 yards a game. They pass for 277. So they are definitely well-rounded. Roderick Daniels, speaking of well-rounded, comes around the corner and across the 40-yard line, a 14-yard pickup.
Well, this young man just continues to amaze and amaze. They find creative ways to get him the ball. Here he is on the jet sweep. You're just trying to get to the edge of this defense, And it's blocked well, and he doesn't need a whole lot of space, Doug. He found a little crease, and he got what he needed in an additional more as well.
Handoff to Medlock. And not much there for Medlock. I'd say not much. He turned it into about a 5-yard gain. Well, it looked like he wasn't going to get much out of it. Marquette Seaton had his hands on him.
Yeah, it's a little bit different angle for us, right? We're over here kind of at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, trying to adjust a little bit to the way it's laid out.
Just a little bit different, but this offense has to run the ball. They cannot be one-dimensional. They got away with it last week. 471 yards passing, but only 49 yards rushing. You cannot do that if you plan to get out of this round and go to the state final.
Grayson James incomplete, intended for Daniels. That will bring up 3rd and 5.
This where both of these offenses got to have their money. And here comes the pressure of the middle of this defense. And you know what? They're a little bit undersized at positions, certain positions across the board. But what they can do with lack of size is speed and tenacity and scheme. And that time they brought an extra blitzer. He got free, and it disrupted the time.
James to throw. Goes to the far side of the field, and there's Daniels for a first down as Roderick Daniels came open for an 18-yard gain.
Well, that just shows you the big-time arm here of Grayson James. Look how comfortable he is in the pocket. He's got that little lean to him, and he just cocks his arm and then throws strikes. And when either one of these quarterbacks have that kind of pocket, it is going to be a long day for either one of these secondaries. That's a good look at Grayson James there.
Hand off to Medlock. And Malachi Medlock churns it for about 9 yards. Inside the 25-yard line.
Good tough running inside by Medlock. 6'2", 220 pounds. He's a physical running back. May not run away from a lot of people on defense, but he has good football speed. And, you know, they just need that constant pounding in between the tackles to make this defense kind of sucker in, and that's going to open up everything on the outside.
Pass complete and short of a first down. Well, they'll say he got it. They'll give him the forward progress. That was Jabin Square who caught the ball out of the backfield. Got just enough to pick up the first down.
Yeah, watch Cinque Williams here, number 4. He comes out, form tackle. That is perfect. Textbook, head up, face mask right in the chest. They did get the first down, but it wasn't by much. Good play on the outside by Williams.
David Square Jr. starting to really establish himself in this Duncanville offense. And now a nice run to the 10-yard line for the Panthers as Keon Pugh gets the first handoff of his night.
Yeah, I really like the game that Eric Mims, the offensive coordinator, is calling. He's going inside, he's throwing outside, and he's running outside. And this is just mixing up the defense. You soften them up in the middle, and that'll soften them up on the outside. And with this team speed, Doug, we know the damage that they can do. This Carroll defense has got to get off blocks and start running to the ball.
13-yard gain for Pugh. First and goal for Duncanville. James with a pass, incomplete, looking for Marcus Vincent. The H-back Vincent, 6'4", 250-pound junior. He's like, hey, I almost had it.
It's like, come on, man, you got to leave me. Those big guys, you almost got to run out there and hand it to them. You know, and he's right. That ball should have probably led him a little bit, and they see there was really no threat, and Josh Spaeth really put a hit on him. That's a miss there by the offense.
Second and goal.
Yeah, you just wonder, is the defense going to have to bring some pressure just to kind of slow this offense down? They seem to have their way here on this drive.
Hand off to Pugh, and he is tackled in the backfield. Cinque Williams. A loss of 4 on the play as number 4 breaks into the backfield.
Well, this is fantastic. They changed the defense up this year to a 3-4, and he's listed as one of the strong side linebackers. He's a little bit undersized at 5'11", 180, but I'm telling you what, he is a football player. 2 form tackles let alone in the last 3 plays. That's what this defense has to do. They have to tackle almost perfectly here this afternoon.
Got to get that jersey situation remedied, though.
It's all about being fly. He's got to be fly. You got to have that flair.
3rd and goal. James tossed to Medlock. Incomplete.
That was a perfect call, too. Perfect call.
Malachi Medlock can't believe that he didn't catch that ball.
Oh, that was the perfect call. Both linebackers on the outside are coming free. And it's great anticipation by Grayson James, but you got to catch the ball, because if he catches this ball, my money's on Medlock with his big body and physical ability to make that play and maybe get himself closer to the goal line, maybe even score.
Eduardo Galvan on for a 31-yard field goal attempt. Kick is a sidewinder and no good. The Dragons hold after the Panthers march all the way downfield, and it's still Carroll on top, 7-0.
4:15 remains in the first quarter. Carroll leads Duncanville 7-0. Coming to CW 33. Justice comes home with a new generation of Texas Rangers. Supernatural's Jared Padalecki stars as Walker, a lawman, widower, and father with a strong moral code who returns home. Don't miss the series premiere of Walker, Thursday, January 21st, right here on CW 33.
Meanwhile, the Dragons lead it 7-0. First quarter action from Globe Life Park. Hand off to Allen. It's fumbled. Panthers pick it up. Janarius Thursby. And the Panthers have their first break of the game. They force a turnover and have the ball in great field position.
Wow, that happened so quick. And it was in a little bit of a pileup. Let's watch it here as Owen Allen, he gets up in there. He's running in behind. Yeah, there it is, yeah. Ball hits the ground.
And that was caused and recovered by Janarius Thursby, the captain of the defense. Coaches call him the heartbeat of that defensive unit, and he shows you why there.
Well, I certainly believe it. And what about the timing of that? Yeah, that's exactly what they needed. They couldn't afford, Southlake Carroll to take another offensive drive and put some more points on the board.
James will keep it on first down, and he pushes his way all the way into the end zone. It's a touchdown, Duncanville.
Wow, you're talking about the turn of events. And you forget, Grayson James is a big-bodied quarterback. He's 6'3", 220, 225. But watch him get his lean, and they just underestimate the physicality of the quarterback, and he powers his way into the end zone. You talking about what this team needed, what this momentum back on their side. Oh, boy.
And then it changes in an instant. Blocked, PAT. Dragons pick it up and return it to midfield.
Wow.
The block was by Avion Jones, the defensive back. C.K. Williams picked it up. There is a flag on the play.
They were playing with fire. You and I kind of kidded during the break when they missed the PAT, the snap, the hold was a little suspect to begin with. And I was thinking if Carroll just decided to go block it, they're going to block it every single time. And they did on that one.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, it is declined. The try is no good.
Thank you, Gerald Green, our referee for today's ball game. And let's take another look at the block.
It's just no Christmas to the whole sequence of what you do from snap to holder for the time the kicker kicks, and then you got a missed block. And then it's just off to the races, even though that was going to be back. And they call it back. But here's what they do. A little bit of a read option. It's a quarterback call with the power look. And he's got a lead blocker, but he doesn't even need that. His big body gets his way in the end zone.
And Grayson James just carried Logan Anderson right into the end zone. But the PAT, no good. It was blocked by Avion Jones a junior defensive back. And Carroll holds on to a 1-point lead after a one-play drive by the Panthers. Galvan's kick short, taken by Spade. Fair catch called for and made at the 25-yard line. So the last possession for the Dragons, only one play. Owen Allen with the handoff. Jadarius Thursby forced the fumble, and it led to the score for the Panthers.
Yeah, this offense didn't really turn over much the entire season, and rarely do they put the ball on the ground. That's the one thing that's kept this machine running all season long. They protect the football well.
Ewers, well protected. Throws over the middle, incomplete. And Landon Sampson, but broke it up. Nice job on the defense by Duncanville.
Yeah, this defense is playing a cover 2 look, but it looks like cover 2, but they're playing 2-man underneath with the 2 safeties high. Look at the press coverage here. It's man coverage all the way, and he recognizes that. The soft place in that defense is the middle, but the coverage is there, and it just disrupted the pass cohesion between receiver and quarterback.
Jadarius Thursby broke it up. This pass complete to Sampson as he was being covered by Jordan Crook. Picked up 9 yards on the play.
Boy, Landon Sampson, what a game did he had last week against Trinity. 14 receptions, 135 yards and 2 touchdowns against Trinity, only to be outdone by Brady Boyd. 17 catches, 261 in 4 touchdowns.
But Brady Boyd had himself a day.
My goodness.
And Quinn Ewers in that first half only missed 1 pass against the Trojans. He finished the first half, I think it was 18 of 19. Pass incomplete as he was trying to find Sampson on a short pass. And we go down to the field and check in with Chris.
Duncanville's Jadarius Thursby gritting his teeth throughout this entire first quarter, playing incredibly well. Signed with SMU last month. His recruiting was led by Rashad Samples, former Skyline receiver, and Duncanville head coach Reginald Samples' son. He's not the biggest, not the strongest, not the fastest, but Thursby can flat play football. Watch him, guys. He is just relentless. When he goes up against people that are bigger than him, they still can't match up.
Now he's got the heart of a lion, and that can be said for many of these Duncanville Panthers. Return man on the play that did not get a chance to return the ball there, Roderick Daniels. He's only 5'9" and 175 pounds, and he talks about the fact that, you know what, a lot of people overlook me because I'm small, but I've got the heart of a lion, and like Jadarius Thursby, he's going to SMU as well.
Yeah, you know, in today's football game, you know, measurables as a skill player almost mean nothing. It's about what's inside of you and your ability. If you've got some wheels, if you've got some shake and bake, and if you've got some determined to get it done, you can come play for me. That's all I'm saying. So these kids have the talent to do some damage at the next level, and this year they have proven that for sure.
3:37 remaining in the first quarter, and Carroll leading by 1. Javen Square in the backfield. He will catch the ball up to the 25 and all the way out to the 29-yard line. Javen Square with a 5-yard gain. Helmet pops off at the end of the play. Square coming into the game over 500 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Caught the ball a couple of times out of the backfield. 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, man-to-man coverage, no safety, really in the middle of the field. Pressure look by the Dragons.
James with a toss to Roderick Daniels. Thrown out of bounds at the 40-yard line. 11 yards on the pickup for Daniels as he was tackled by Avion Jones.
Yeah, that's a dangerous defense here by the Dragons because you're really playing with fire. This is out on an island, and excellent recognition by Duncanville to recognize that, get the ball out quickly, and let one of your better, if not the best skill player on your team, make a guy miss and maybe take that thing all the way to the house. Good adjustment right there. That's a good pre-snap read. You recognize what the defense is doing, get your team in the best play, and then execute and go get it.
Grayson James rolling out, has some room to run, takes off at the 45 and out of bounds up near the 48-yard line. Picked up 8 yards. Grayson James, it's what you call a dual threat, LD. He's able to throw, but he can also bring it down and run.
You know, and I say that respectively, he's not quite Jaquindon Jackson. Jaquindon Jackson, you just held your breath. He may take it, something like that, all the way to the house. But Grayson James is a smart runner. He's effective, and that's all you need from a quarterback right now, because his talent, arm talent, is off the charts, and that's what makes this offense so balanced.
Malachi Medlock goes inside, then outside, and still on his feet at the 10, out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. A 47-yard run. There is a penalty flag near the end of the play.
Oh, that's going to be face mask right at the end of the run. But you're talking about line of scrimmage warfare. Hey, I tell you what, this Duncanville offensive line.
Number 40. Pass this to the goal. Automatic. First down.
I was about to say, Doug, watch this offensive line go to work. And they pull Savion Beard. And Beard comes across, and then you just give this big body running back in the open room. And I don't think many people want to tackle him. You saw the face mask at the end of that. Here is this Duncanville offense rocking and rolling again, knocking on the door.
First and goal. Hand up, and looked like Medlock slipped. No gain. Malachi Medlock, over 1,000 yards on the ground this year. That time just couldn't keep his footing.
Yeah, and you saw just a little bit of penetration there by Alan Kleiman.
And Kleiman is the one guilty of the face mask on the previous play. Again, the handoff to Medlock, and this time, no problems for Malachi. Touchdown from 2 yards out, and Duncanville takes a 12-7 lead.
They had to do some reshuffling of this offensive line. They had to move Savion Byrd to left guard, and Jalen Early, who was playing left guard, to right guard. But it doesn't matter, because they're all coached well, fundamentally sound, and they get their hands on him, and there was no chance for the Dragons defense to stop that one there.
Glad you mentioned the shuffling that they did on the offensive line. They did move some guys around as Eduardo Galvan makes the extra point to make it a 13-7 ball game. But that offensive line, LD, and I am not kidding, all 5 of those guys are going to play college football here in the next year or 2 years. So that's a unit that is just unbelievable.
That's exactly right. And I remember us saying early in the year that entire defensive line for Duncanville was going to play some FBS football. But yeah, that's been what really drove this team this year, is their front 5 guys on this offensive line. And it didn't matter who was running the ball in the backfield. These guys have been able to feed off of that and get what they needed to do. And certainly Medlock there capping it off with the TD.
Malachi Medlock, 6'2", 220-pound junior. He gives Duncanville the lead, 13-7 now with 1:22 remaining in the first quarter. The winner of this ball game will move on to the Class 6A Division I state championship. They will play the winner of Galena Park North Shore and Austin Westlake. That game taking place this afternoon. It is 17-7 right now. Westlake on top, and we'll have updates throughout the afternoon from Chris Mycoskie on that game. Fair catch called for and made inside the 20 by Josh Spaeth, and we send it down to the field and check in with Chris.
Guys, the last time we saw the Cedar Hill Longhorns here on CW 33, they lost to Duncanville in the district title game, but the Longhorns have not lost since. Cedar Hill beats Denton Guyer 27-17 at McKinney ISD Stadium. Longhorns will likely place Katy in next week's 6A Division II championship game. Those two squads faced off in 2012, 13, and 14, meeting again to end the 2020 season.
Yes, indeed. We were talking about that before today's game. Those 3 years in a row where Cedar Hill and Katy met in the state championship game. Cedar Hill won 2 of those matchups. Katy took 1. And, of course, our good friend Joey McGuire was the head coach of Cedar Hill at the time. Now an assistant at Baylor. And he still watches us on the Game of the Week, so we're glad to have him checking us out.
I always appreciate Coach McGuire.
Quinn Ewers on second down, in trouble, ball comes loose, a race for it, and a Carroll offensive lineman dives on the loose ball. A loss of 23, but give the credit to Peyton Knezek for making sure that the ball didn't go over to the Panthers.
This is going to be a problem if these 5 guys can't block the 4 rushing. And that's Omari Arbor, number 23, 6'4", 240. That's another beast on this defensive line for the Duncanville Panthers. That is going to be a problem today because Quinn Ewers has got to be able to extend plays and buy some time from time to time to get the ball downfield.
Owen Allen tackled by Kendrick Blackshear. It is just an embarrassment of riches for Duncanville. You talk about Omari Ibar, a 6'4" junior who has multiple P5 offers. And on the last play, it's Kendall Blackshear who's signed with Alabama, who makes the play. But at the end of one quarter, it's only a 6-point game. Panthers, Dragons on CW33.
CW33 High School Football Showdown is brought to you by Whataburger.
As you can see, Duncanville coach Reginald Samples is quite upset. I believe he does have a right to be.
Yes, he does.
There was a holding call against his defense at the end of that last play. He just got charged with a timeout, even though it was the end of the quarter. They called it a third down, which if it was a holding against the defense, it would be an automatic first down. There's all kinds of confusion going on right now down on the field.
It totally is, and nobody is recognizing that the quarter is over. And we should be on the other end of the field because we've got 12 minutes on the clock right now.
And they did not flip sides. They have not flipped sides of the field.
Are they going to do an untimed down here, I guess?
I guess it's going to be an untimed down. It's 3rd and 9.
Been good to announce that.
Ewers will let one fly. Brady Boyd downfield in double coverage. And here come the flags. Jadarius Thursby was one of the Panthers in coverage downfield. And this looks like interference coming against Duncanville.
And I can see the flag on that one, but are we going to have 2 untimed downs here? And this is going to be the longest extended first quarter in the history of football right now.
Pass interference. Defense, number 8. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down. And we will have another untimed down.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, well, I've never actually seen that. 2 untimed downs at the end of a quarter.
Yeah, Duncanville just trying to rush their front 4, and Thursby gets in the way. That's actually a pretty easy call by that official.
You see Coach Samples on your right, and assistant head coach and acting head coach today, Lee Munn, the defensive coordinator for the Dragons, on your left.
we hadn't really talked much about that throughout this game, and you know, many people say, oh, it doesn't mean, yeah, it does. I've played, and if my head coach wasn't there, and that does make a difference. He was there 12 games earlier in the year. It does make a little bit of a difference.
Hand off to Owen Allen, no gain on first down, and maybe now we have reached the end of the first quarter.
My goodness.
We've already taken the end of quarter timeout, so we will hang out here at Globe Life Park with you as they take a break here at the end of the quarter. Get ready for the second quarter, and while they do that, let's go down to the field and check in with Chris.
Well, guys, we talked a lot about how strange it feels to be in this place for a football game. The Rangers played their final baseball game here in September 2019. Not long after, they began a $10 million renovation project, transforming Globe Life Park into its current configuration. That included removing the third base dugout and a chunk of the lower seating bowl and adding a 4,000-seat grandstand in what used to be left field. The new primary tenant was originally the Dallas Renegades of the XFL, but the team and the league folded in April. Now the Arlington Colts and Martin Warriors call this home in the regular season, and the ballpark has hosted a ton of playoff games.
Yes, indeed.
That's pretty doggone cool.
A couple of weeks ago, it seemed like every game in the state was here, except for the ones that we were doing.
Yeah, that made me scratch my temple a little bit through the course of the season. But I'm okay now.
Now that we're here, I can certainly see an appeal. It's pretty cool to be able to come here and witness what they've done with this ballpark as Brady Boyd makes a catch for 14 yards and a first down.
Well, we got some laundry on the field again. Seems like we can't have a play now without a flag or so. There's Brady Boyd's number of the year. We talked about what he did last week.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Well, the Dragons, who look very good on their opening drive to take a 7-0 lead, finding a little bit of trouble right now against this Duncanville defense. Both teams with 2 penalties on the afternoon. Here's a pass underneath to Allen. And Allen rips off a big gain, 16 yards and a first down.
This is a beautiful, nice play design here. They're just waiting and patient and setting up the middle screen to the running back, inviting the pressure of this defense and working against itself. And they catch him and they gash him for a nice gain to get a first down.
Ewers fires one over the middle through the hands of Brady Boyd.
That's a tough pass there. He's trying to force that in. You know, Brady Boyd's a nice target. He's 6'2", so he's got the wingspan. He's got the ability. This pass is coming in hot, and he's trying to throw it away from the defender because the defender is outstanding coverage. Just too hot to handle there.
Ewers struggling a bit early, 2 of 8 for only 24 yards. Swings this one out to Allen, and he's taken down at the 45-yard line.
Good tackle.
A terrific tackle by Janarius Thursby. And yes, you're going to hear that name a lot today.
I was about to say, you probably wore that name out here just in the first half alone. And these guys are so good at running to the ball, and that's the recipe of why they've been dominant year in and year out on defense. And Thursby is the ringleader of it all.
Ewers goes far sideline. Boyd, it is caught for a first down.
I'm telling you, this kid can spin the ball, Doug. You and I have seen it. And when he first came onto the scene, is an underclassman. And I'm telling you, it just comes off a little bit different. And it's something like you don't see normally at this level. Look at him just kind of fling that thing. That's spinning the ball on time there.
11-yard gain for a first down, and Ewers on first down will slide for no gain.
And that's the thing with this defense. You have to be so precise in your passing game because they're going to be on you. And it's rarely do they bust a coverage on the back end in the secondary. So it really challenges the skill level and arm talent of everybody that goes against this defense. Quinn Ewers certainly has it. So far, he's doing okay with that.
And off to Owen Allen, breaks a tackle. Inside the 20-yard line, first down, a 13-yard run.
It's a good block by the center. Watch Dylan Anderson, 73. He gets his hands there. You couldn't really see it there. But he and Nawalny, number 64, they just turned their backs to the left. And that created a little bit of a gash in his defense.
Timeout on the field. And it looks like is a injury timeout as the trainers come on to take a look at Kendall Blackshear, the linebacker for the Panthers, being escorted off the field, walking under his own power. 6'3", 250-pound senior who has dealt with some injuries in his high school football career. In a torn ACL his junior year, and had to come back from that.
And I'm supposed to believe he's 17 years old.
Right.
He's 6'3", 250.
Some guys are just gifted that way, LD.
My goodness.
It wasn't me, I promise you. But yes, he is a man among boys, headed to the University of Alabama. First down for the Dragons. Hand off to Allen. Squeezes through a hole and works his way down to the 18-yard line, a 7-yard gain.
Here comes this offensive line back the other way. They've reestablished himself and reestablished the line of scrimmage. This is an ultimate test for these guys, and so far they are putting on a little bit of a blocking clinic and being there and being able to get the fight to the Panthers here.
Allen with the carry. He was stopped immediately by Tyler Quinn. Quinn, the big 6'3", 285-pound senior who is signed on with Colorado State.
Yeah, I really like Tyler Quinn. I mean, he has just about everything you could possibly want at the defensive end position, and Ivy in behind him, who's in the game now. And Ivar, number 23, on the left side.
13th play of the drive. Ewers takes off inside the 10, diving, touchdown. Quinn Ewers with his third rushing touchdown of the year to tie the ball game at 13.
Well, hey, it takes a special player and special plays if you want to beat the Duncanville Panthers. This play is all about Quinn Ewers and making guys miss. It just determined Doug to get into the end zone because he should have probably been sacked. But he turns that into a touchdown, and that is the difference when you want to advance, go to the state championship game.
The extra point by Joe McFadden gives the Dragons the lead at 14-13 in the state semifinals.
Second quarter with 8:31 remaining. Carroll's lead now 14-13 over Duncanville. Quinn Ewers getting into the end zone. We mentioned he was hurt earlier this season. It was during the Keller game. It was a long process to get back. Took 6 or 7 weeks after he had surgery, battled back. He certainly could have hung it up and said, I'm just going to get ready for my senior year. But he put in a lot of work behind closed doors with nobody looking. He returned for the Dragons for the playoff game against Arlington Martin, and now has his team one win away from the championship round.
Is Quinn Ewers sporting the blonde shag of the month?
He's got the blonde hair that is customary for Dragon football players during the postseason, but then underneath, it's dark, and he kind of has that mullet going on. Yeah, that's a crazy haircut.
That's what we're doing now, huh?
I wasn't going to really say a whole lot about it, but he's kind of got the Joe Dirt looking going.
Yes.
But hey, when you're the #1 player in the country, I guess you can get away with that.
You can do what you want to do.
Nobody's going to say a dang thing about it. Penalty flags before the play.
Boy, this is going to be interesting because that defensive line certainly jumps in the neutral zone, but there's an offensive player moving as well. Jerry Scales, yeah, number 65. And it may have been Kendrick Williams, the second. Back them up here.
That's going to be a costly penalty for the Panthers. James tossing out, and Lontrell Turner turns it upfield for a gain of about 7. But you talk about the cupboard never being bare. If you lose, let's say you lose Roderick Daniels and maybe even Chris Hicks, there's a guy like Lontrell Turner or Jarrell Powers that can step right in that receiving crew and get things done for you. Great luxury for Grayson James as he puts one over the defense and into the hands of Roderick Daniels for a 17-yard gain and a first down.
There's another big-time throw there as well, and not a lot of high school kids can make that throw. You got to have a lot of courage first and foremost, and especially in a cover 2, it's a whole throw. So that pass has got to skim right over the top of the underneath defender in between that safety, and that was perfect.
And off to Medlock as he goes left at the 40-yard line. Medlock looks like he might have picked up a first down, 10-yard gain at the 40.
Look, watch 53, Jalen Early. He's the first guy in the hole. Bang, right there. That's what sets them the edge and gets him to the outside. And then it's just one-on-one. And that's what both of these offenses want to do. They want to create a seam to where they get past the first wave and then put their running backs one-on-one with some of these defensive players. There's Jalen Early there. He's a top 300 recruit, according to the ESPN, a.k.a. ESPN. Good player.
That was a 9-yard gain, so second down and 1. James looks to go downfield, now brings it down, and he will run. Has plenty of room to pick up the first down, a 3-yard gain for Grayson James.
You know, a lot of times in these young quarterbacks, you know, it's the throws that you don't do. And this is one of them here. Understanding situational football, no need to force this. Let me see what's out here. Oh, let me get a couple more yards here. We move the chains, and that's another, it's a fresh set of first downs. Hey, here we're ready to rock and roll. Let's regroup and call the next play.
And that next play is Malachi Medlock. And Medlock working his way for about 5 yards. Second down and 5 coming up. Boy, Malachi Medlock, yeah, he is a 5-yard machine. Every time he touches the ball, he's going to get you about 5. He might break one for a big game, but you know he's going to get you that 4 to 5 yards every time.
And as a play caller, you got to love that, because just when things start to get bleak, you can always lean on that 5-yard average by your big body running back to keep yourself honest here.
James throws one down the far sideline. Daniels, the intended receiver, looking for penalty flags, and he will get them, as Max Reyes was guilty of the interference.
Yeah, if you call it the other way, you got to call it the same way here. It's almost an identical pass interference, but Max Reyes is in perfect position, and all he has to do is just turn around. When you see that receiver's eyes get a little bigger and start to look up like something's about to chase you from behind, that's when you whip your head around, and that official cannot call that play.
Pass interference, defense, number 24. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's a good call. Yeah, man to man. These defensive back got to be on it. He's in perfect position. Just turn your head around. And that's all he has to do. But when you throw your arms up and you don't act like you're going to make a play on the ball, that's an easy pull to flag there by the official.
Handoff on first down. New running back checking into the game for the Panthers. That is Martavius Reed. And Reed will pick up about 3 yards on first down.
Well, it's a big bowling ball of a kid here. Look at big Reed here, 5'10", 220. That's a load.
See the numbers on Reed on the season.
It's a nice drive here by Duncanville. They kind of just quietly done what they needed to do. Very methodical to get down here inside the red zone.
Whistles before this play. Coach Samples on that Duncanville sideline.
Ball start. Offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Not pleased with the result of that penalty, which was a ball start by Kendrick Williams, the senior left tackle.
Kendrick Williams, and when we last saw him, didn't play left tackle. And he's out there here the last few games at left tackle. Got a tough assignment, certainly anytime you're protecting the quarterback's blind side.
Second down 11. James looking downfield, will throw it over the middle. It's caught. Touchdown. Jarrell Powers, 18 yards out. And the Panthers retake the lead.
These quarterbacks wheeling and dealing. Boy, this is a great read here by Grayson James. Now they've got a lot going on, so the play action pass just buys him just enough time to maybe pull those linebackers down to clear that throw right there. And it's a good enough pass where it's a little bit behind him to protect his receiver, Powers, and didn't throw him into a blow up. Oh boy.
Again, a mishap on the PAT.
Oh, this is the stuff you can't have this time of year. Bro.
A good throw by James, but a great catch by Jarrell Powers, his first touchdown of the season, and it gives Duncanville.
5 minutes, 6 seconds remain in the second quarter with Duncanville leading Carroll 19-14. Coming up on the Hyundai halftime report, we'll look at scores from around the state. It is semifinal day for Class 6A, Division I, and Division II. We'll also talk about the transformation of this facility from baseball to football with Rob Matwick, the Executive Vice President of the Texas Rangers, guys.
All right, very good. Looking forward to that coming up at the half. But in the meantime, we've got 5 minutes of first half football yet to play. And LD, these two teams are waging the kind of battle that we certainly anticipated coming into the ball game.
Well, I really second that, and we're getting a little bit of everything, and we're seeing the strengths of both teams come to the forefront as well, and then some other intangible things coming up to the forefront, special teams, and certainly some unsung heroes, but make no mistake about it, it's going to take every minute and second of this game to decide this one today.
I love what I've seen from the two teams so far, offensively and defensively. If you had to, criticize anything or say anything was a red flag, Duncanville can't convert the PATs, and that could turn into a big problem in this ball game.
Already missed 2 points already, and that could be the difference in the game because, the Dragons are going to be there. It could come down to that at the very last few minutes, seconds of this game today.
Owen Allen takes a hit, keeps on ticking, and picks up a first down, 11 yards for the sophomore.
They found a little something right in the heart of the defense, which is unheard of because teams have not been able to crack the code of this Duncanville Panther defense.
First down. Allen again. And he wrestles his way for about 5 yards. Had to fight off Keybon Ivy. to pick up a decent gain. Ivy, one of two defensive linemen that had 3 sacks against DeSoto last week. Ivy had 3, and Omari Ibar had 3 as well.
They just put the clamps on DeSoto and only allowed 258 total yards, only 89 yards of rushing yards and an interception.
Looks like a false start penalty coming against Carroll.
False start, offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That was the right guard, Caden Nawalny. Penalties even, 4 apiece here in the first half. Under 4 minutes to play. Ewers takes the snap, throws down the far sideline. It is caught. Landon Sampson at the 20, the 10, touchdown. 64 yards for Landon Sampson, and the Dragons retake the lead.
Well, they've been saving this one. This is a beautiful play design, schematically perfect. You get your best receiver, or one of your best receivers, matched up against a linebacker, and I know it's Thursby, but Thursby's in deep water when that pass is deep like that, and when you've got a receiver with wide receiver ball skills like that, like Landon Sampson, you have to love that matchup. The ball was on the money, and it's 7 points on the board again now for the Dragons.
And the ultra-reliable Joe McFadden with the extra point to make it a 21-19 ball game.
And Thursby's not technically a linebacker. He's kind of a hybrid player. But again, he's too deep back here. You've got to be on your mark as a skilled player to cover. And this pass is there. You just put it up, and Sampson adjusts. And man, that's a beautiful play.
That is a terrific catch by Landon Sampson, the junior. 15th touchdown of the season. Mentioned he had a couple last week against Trinity. His first one of the day, capping off a 3-play 75-yard drive.
You know, this offense just gives people problems because you got Landon Sampson. He's got a big body. He's tall, 6'1", 185. Brady Boyd is on the other side. He's 6'2", 185. So they create a lot of mismatch problems, and this defense sometimes has to do some things to just try to cover. And that time they got a little too fancy, and it was the perfect schematic play call by the Dragons to get the matchup that they wanted.
And we have the 4th lead change of the first half.
Well, hold on, we got 3:38 left.
Kick taken at the 21-yard line for the Panthers. Davian Blewett as he takes off across midfield. 28-yard return for Blewett, and let's go down to the field and check in with Chris.
As prolific as the Carroll passing attack has been, Landon Sampson has accounted for 33% of that passing offense, over 1,100 yards, including those 15 touchdowns you talked about, Doug. Coach Riley Dodge said earlier this week that he expects a lot out of Sampson and has since he was a freshman. He's the steady hand of this offense, a D1 receiver with some amazing talent. Calls him Mr. Consistent.
Well, if he can play like that throughout the day, he's going to give the Dragons a very good chance in the ball game. Hand off to Medlock, no gain, stopped at midfield.
Oh my God!
Take a look at the.
It's like a boy band.
I think Dylan Anderson's got the best one of the bunch, guys.
You know, it used to be that it was all cropped, you know, all short blonde hair for the Dragons. I guess they decided they had to trick it up even more.
This is 2.0 here.
Now you got the Hollywood Salon over there on the Dragons sideline.
Oh, Lord.
Pass will net about a yard for the Panthers as Grayson James found Chris Hicks, but C.K. Williams found Chris Hicks as well. No gain on the play, really, about a yard, and C.K. Williams came up with the ball as if he caused the turnover, but I don't believe so.
That's a good job running to the football. That's the key against these skilled players. You've got to attack in waves, and they do a great job there. Thought they may have came up with the ball on that one. It did look like it was out there.
James throwing over the middle. Daniels caught in double coverage. Good for 19 yards, a first down for Duncanville.
I mean, there's just so many playmakers across the field. And these quarterbacks know where they need to go. And if I'm Grayson James and I need a play, I'm looking for number 13 because he's your home run hitter and he's really your big play machine on offense. And they dialed up the 1-3 there, and he gets the first down.
High snap. James will keep it and dive forward for about 4 yards.
Well, that play had a little struggle start to it. You said he kind of had to catch the snap and it threw off the timing of the play, but he was still, leaning forward enough, and the offensive line blocked well enough that he got 4 yards out.
Both teams have all of their timeouts remaining.
They don't need them.
Duncanville not worried about it at this point. James, well protected, throws to the corner, and it is caught. What about that? Lontrell Turner, the sophomore, lays it out and comes up with a 22-yard gain.
And what's beautiful about this, he throws the receiver open. Before the receiver breaks, that ball is gone, and he threw it in the only spot, and it's a corner route. It's the only spot where you can put it. And Lontrell Turner, wow, what a catch.
First and goal for the Panthers. Handed off to Medlock, and Malachi Medlock pushes his way into the end zone. Touchdown Duncanville, and the 5th lead change in the first half.
Yeah, you got to go for 2.
No doubt about that.
Keep the offense on the field.
Got a chance to make it a 6-point game.
Doug, how about the answer of the Duncanville Panthers? They get hit with the bomb right off the bat by the Dragons in their touchdown. They just march kind of methodical once again down the field.
Panthers going for a 2-point conversion. James turns it toward the end zone. He's in.
He could have picked anybody on that play and decided to keep it himself.
So Duncanville gets back a couple of those points that they had lost on the botched PATs, and a 6-play 50-yard drive gives them a 6-point lead at 27-21. That touchdown run was set up by this terrific play by Lontrell Turner.
Now watch the pass protection. It gives him time to allow this route to develop. And this is an absolute beautiful pass. I mean, that is dimed up. And then Turner laying out and just securing the catch was fantastic. And that set this offense, and they were ready to go. And the very next play, they put it in. Boy, what a game. These two teams, showing the championship medal. And they're throwing blow for blow here in this first half.
No question about that. And then you look at the numbers on Medlock, averaging 8.5 yards a carry this afternoon with a couple of TDs here in the first half.
Well, hang on, folks. 48 seconds left. 3 timeouts for the Dragons. Anything is possible.
They have certainly done more with less in their program's history. Fair catch called for, made at the 25-yard line. And Quinn Ewers and company will go to work. 48 seconds left in the half. They have all 3 of their timeouts.
Well, they're going to try to go into attack mode here. I think you see what you can get. This is going to be a litmus test and a drive starter play here on first down. That's going to set up what the play caller is certainly going to do from there on out. But if you're Duncanville, this is where that pass rush has got to come back. You got to dig down deep and get Quinn Ewers off his mark, because if he's comfortable and has chance to come off to his first and second, maybe even his 3rd read, that's in trouble for this defense, because it's going to be a long time for them to have to cover.
Some sort of discussion taking place with Gerald Green and his crew.
What you got, Gerald?
Our statistician, Robert Walton, believing that the Dragons are trying to put the ball in the middle of the field while the officials are setting it up on the right hash. And if that's the case, the officials win.
Yeah. No doubt about that.
Ewers. Dump to Owen Allen. Incomplete. Second down and 10 coming up.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to slip Allen out in the flat, just trying to, again, catch the aggressive nature of this pass rush, Doug, and how to use that against itself. They couldn't get connected there on the screen play.
Off to Allen. 30-yard line. And Allen tackled at the 38. A 13-yard pickup for the sophomore Owen Allen.
Yeah, they go ahead and burn that first time out of the half. And, you know, again, we didn't talk much about Riley Dodge not being here, and it's the little things like that that he would be used to making a timeout, an in-game decision, because sometimes the head coach is kind of the overseer or everything. You have your coordinators coordinating the offense, and the defensive coordinator takes care of the defense. But now you're asking the defensive coordinator to be the game manager. And that may be some of the subtle nuances later in the game. That's a perfect time out there, but something we need to keep an eye on as certainly the game progresses.
Let's go down to the field. We'll check in with Chris.
Doug, this January, the drama of high school football returns with a new season of All-American. Senior year looks very different, and the stakes of this year's football season aren't just high, they're personal. The season premiere of All-American, Monday, January 18th on CW 33.
We have a good one here. We also have a good one going in the other 6A Division I state semifinal as Austin Westlake leads North Shore 17-14 in the fourth quarter of that ball game.
All right, the first time they've emptied the backfield this game. 5 wide receivers set.
And the pass is incomplete and almost picked off by Jadarius Thursby.
Thursby almost got his revenge in one play, and if that pass was about 6 inches higher, that's 6 points the other. That's 6 points the other way. And this is just receiver to quarterback not being on the same page. And I don't know if it was probably, Thursby probably could have had it there, but I don't know if it was an option route and the receiver saw something else and he went inside, and the quarterback thought he was going to option and go to the outside of the defender.
Ball start. Offense. Number 64. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Caden Nawalny with the false start. And the Dragons, as much as anything, have hurt themselves in this first half with false starts and assorted penalties.
Yeah, they have. They just never really got this drive really started.
Second down and 15. Owen Allen up the middle, and he'll pick up 7. That will keep the clock moving, and the Dragons not calling a timeout here.
They just might be content to go down 6 points into the halftime locker room.
Ewers throws it out of bounds. He was being pressured.
Yeah, you got to be careful about that one. He's not outside of the pocket, not a receiver in the area.
Amari Ibar was bearing down on Quinn Ewers.
They're not going to call it. Could have been intentional grounding on that one. He certainly was still in the pocket. We're getting word that that pass might have gotten tipped. Let's take a look at it here. Good pressure. Man, they get right up the middle of the defense, and there's Ivy.
Yeah, I think Ewers was hit as he was throwing the ball, so therefore no penalty. Duncanville calls timeout with 5 seconds remaining here in the first half. Maybe just talking about, potential return here. You've got a dangerous guy back there in Roderick Daniels who certainly knows how to make a play.
Yep, and most coaches, like to set up that punt return to their sideline. And now with the ball being on the right hash, there's a lot of football room to the Duncanville sideline. So you're probably going to see a return set up. Now on the other side of it, if you're Southlake, you're not even going to give this a chance to even set up for a return. So you might see kind of a low line drive, hopefully you hit the ground type thing. Punt maybe going out of bounds. And depending on how good the punter really is, he may kick this thing up high enough and hang it to where the coverage can get down there for a fair catch.
Joe McFadden is good, averages almost 44 yards a punt. And he will rugby style this one out of bounds as time runs out here in the first half. So the Dragons do what they wanted to do, which was keep the ball away from Roderick Daniels. And the first half comes to an end with Duncanville on top by 6, 27-21. Boy, what a back and forth first half between these two excellent programs.
Well, it has. It's been fun. And just when you think maybe one team got the better of the other, and they may do a little something, here comes the other team back the other way. And these offenses responded well. I still think it's been some great defense being played, too. It's just two good offenses on the field and just so much talent, really on both sides of the ball and both sidelines.
Coming your way next on CW33, it's the Hyundai halftime report as Chris Mycoskie will take you through scores around the state, and he has a special guest on the halftime show as well. Stick around. We've got a good one here in Arlington.
CW33 High School Football Showdown is brought to you by your Dallas-Fort Worth Hyundai dealers.
As we get ready to start the second half, LD, let's take a quick look at those numbers from the first half.
Yeah, when you look at it here, both these teams doing what they had to do on the field, and it's a little bit of a good balanced offense by the Panthers. They were able to keep balance in running and passing. I think the Southlake Carroll Dragons just trying to do what they can. They showed glimpses of some nice run games there, but it comes down to what these teams do on third down for the rest of this game and make the last play, and it may come down to the team with has the ball last.
Joe McFadden kicks this one 4 yards deep, and the Panthers decide they're going to bring it out. Not a good decision as Duncanville and Javen Square can only manage the 5-yard line, but there is a penalty flag down on the play.
Illegal block in the back during the return. Receiving team. After this is a goal, 1st and 10.
Boy, that just adds insult to injury there. Let's send it down to the field and check in with Chris.
Talked to both coaches, Reginald Semple, before he went in for the halftime break. He said Kendrick Blackshear will just have to fight through the little injury that he faced here in the first half that took him out of the final series. But Blackshear was actually the last Panther out of the locker room, still walking very gingerly, came out just before kickoff. Lee Munn on the Southlake Carroll side said his team cannot panic. He knew it was going to be a fight here. He said somebody in that locker room has a chance to make a big play and be a hero in the city of Southlake.
And they do enjoy their heroes in Southlake. Names like Justin Padrone and Riley Dodge and Greg McElroy and many others live on forever in Southlake when you're a part of a state championship ball club. Malachi Medlock with a gain of 2. Little toss pitch to Roderick Daniels. He tries to turn the corner, and the Dragons are ready for it. They run him out of bounds. Alan Kleiman leading the way.
This is a great job of defense. And what's going to go on really savored here is Cade Parks, number 52. He doesn't make the play, but look at the penetration right there. And that made, Roderick Daniels to bow outside just enough. And that little bit of a bow to get to the corner allowed the rest of the defense to catch up. Good team defense there by the Dragons.
And it brings up a 3rd and 6 for Duncanville inside their own 10-yard line.
Well, you know, 3rd down is a huge down anyway, but they're going to get bigger and bigger, especially on this side of the halves here in this second half.
James, toss, incomplete. He was intending the ball for Roderick Daniels. Daniels would have had 1st down yardage had he caught it, but the ball goes incomplete, and now on 4th down, the Panthers will have to punt the ball away.
Well, this is just good football both ways, and Roderick Daniels just couldn't hang on to it. And that's all about C.K. Williams to come up and do the little love tap there to make sure he didn't hold on to it. And how about that start for the Dragons defense? You talk about momentum. You benefited from a poor decision on the opening kickoff return. You're going to get good field position here.
And a short kick by Eduardo Galvan and a penalty flag thrown. It's only going to be a 24-yard kick. Galvan is slow to get up. Actually, that wasn't.
That's Thursby.
Galvan, that was Janarius Thursby.
Yeah.
Who took a hit, I guess, in block protection for Eduardo Galvan.
Well, there's 2 flags. There was a flag. You can't see it. It's right on the goal line on the white stripe. I've got my binoculars now to kind of see it. And Thursby was laying on top of the flag, so you couldn't see it in the first and foremost. And then there's a flag about the 37-yard line of Duncanville.
Our referee this afternoon, Gerald Green.
You know, with these 2 great ball clubs and these 2 well-coached teams, you know, the flags kind of kill the flow of the game. And, you know, I know the officials want to get control of it and they want to call what they see. But, man, this is just killing all kind of momentum coming out of the halftime locker room with both these teams.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down. Also, sideline warning. Southlake. That's their 1st.
See if we can see where the roughness penalty comes from. Didn't have a real good chance to view it there. But with
I'm refraining to comment.
With an unnecessary roughness penalty, though, Duncanville gets new life. They had to punt the ball away from their own end zone, and now they will not only have the ball, but have good field position coming as a result of that penalty, because it will be a 15-yard mark-off.
That's pretty huge.
That is extremely huge.
That's pretty huge.
In this ball game.
You know, I've seen worse called for unnecessary roughness. I think you let a lot of that go, especially with the gunners going down on a punt coverage. These guys get rode to the sideline, and nobody called anything, but then you call that, and it's 25, 30 yards away from the football. I don't understand.
Pass to Daniels. Stays on his feet to the 25. Outside at the 40. And pushed out of bounds after an 18-yard gain.
Yeah, that's the reason why. He's just a top talent. And this play probably would have went for a very minimal gain. And the defense is in great position. But look, 2 guys there. He gets into a crowd, and they underestimate his speed. And then he gets to the sideline, 0 to 60, as quick as you can probably do it.
Josh Spaeth made the tackle out of bounds. Jamin Squares in the backfield with Grayson James.
On fire here.
It's James to keep it. He tries to work his way toward midfield. He'll pick up 5 to the 45-yard line.
Pretty good job there by the quarterback. And the Dragons come with a little bit of a corner fire. So they're going to send Max Reyes on a blitz, and he just overruns the play. And Grayson James is still a good enough athlete and makes a little bit of a gain there and turns it into a pretty nice amount of yardage there. And now it's 2nd and 5.
And off to Medlock. Malachi Medlock dragging Logan Anderson to midfield, a 4-yard gain. Should be about a yard shy of a first down.
Well, and that's a couple of times we've seen Logan Anderson just hang on for dear life. And this is all he's doing here. You just hold on and hope somebody comes up pretty quick. Hey, get the ball carrier down. Another one of these sophomores in this defense. They've got a bunch of young players. Only 2 seniors in their starting defensive line of 7 juniors and 2 sophomores.
On 3rd down, it's Medlock. And Medlock tries to squeeze through a hole for the first down. He's close.
That's a good defensive play. Marquette Seaton, 6'5", 290. He's the prototypical defensive end. Looking at Tristan Stokes there, number 38. And it's all about getting pad level. And that defensive line and the offensive line, they get enough of a push, but not enough to get the first down. 4th and about the football here.
A big 4th down at midfield for the Panthers. Leading by 6. And it looks like a false start against Duncanville.
And that's the 2nd time the defensive shift has called it.
Start. Offense, number 52, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And that's the 2nd time the shift by the defensive line has called an offensive lineman, has caused them to move. Boy, just got to be disciplined. You got to hold your water as much as you possibly can. And there it is, just a little bit of a flinch. And Patrick Williams, bless his heart, I know he's thinking, man, I did it again.
So instead of going forward on 4th and 1, the Panthers will punt on 4th and 6. Galvan able to get the punt away. Fair catch called for by Brady Boyd. 29-yard kick, and the Dragons will have it down by 6 when we come back.
8:43 remains in the 3rd quarter of this Class 6A Division I semifinal game. Duncanville leads Carroll 27-21. We need you to help us decide the player of the game. Go to our CW33 Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram page and comments on the player of the game post.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. The other 6A Division I semifinal has gone final. And Todd Dodge's Austin Westlake Chaparrals are in the state championship game with a 24-21 win over Galena Park North Shores. Owen Allen takes the ball and carries for about 5 yards on first down.
How about Westlake, right? That was a great matchup. You and I kind of did a double take. Wait a minute, these are both state champions playing each other.
The 6A Division I and Division II champions from a year ago meeting in the Division I semifinals, and Westlake pulls off the victory. Allen on second down.
This
Except the first.
Yeah, sorry about that, Dougie. This offense is now trying to find their sea legs because they've had a ton of success now in consecutive drives of running the ball. And all that's going to do is put the passing game on a platter for Quinn Ewers. Now, his numbers didn't show what he normally does in that first half. Only 5 completions for 102 yards. But it's going to open up some things. It's a good defensive stop here, though.
Allen stopped for a 1-yard gain. Jordan Crook with the tackle.
And in fact, if you just want to go off pure numbers, Grayson James outperformed Quinn Ewers in that first half. He was 13 of 16. Ball barely hit the ground, and 148 yards and a touchdown.
Here's Ewers with a toss complete to Sampson. And Sampson wrestled out of bounds at midfield after a 17-yard gain.
That pass is money right there. That's a flick of the wrist. And there is no hesitation whatsoever. That ball hits on the receiver in a hurry. not much the defensive back can do there.
Hand off to Allen. Not much there as he runs into the pile, picks up a couple. Take a look at Owen Allen so far today. He's had some highs and lows, but overall pretty consistent for the sophomore running back. 20 carries for 107 yards.
Well, he only knows one way to go, and it's hard. And they've been able just to ground and pound, and he's breaking free on this run here. This kid has got a motor, and he's just continued to get better and better as the game certainly progresses.
19 more yards for the sophomore, Owen Allen.
Look at this offensive line. They're putting on a clinic because now they're getting their hands on this defensive line, and they're starting to wear them down a little bit, and these gashes are starting to get a little bit bigger and bigger for Owen Allen.
2 more yards for Owen Allen. That last tackle made by Pierre Goree, that one saved what could have been an even bigger game, but you saw Allen break some tackles, and that's one thing that a little uncharacteristic for the Duncanville defense. They missed on a couple of opportunities so far this afternoon. Here comes the rush on Ewers. He delivers in time to the 25-yard line. Pass caught by Owen Allen, good for a yard.
There's another good tackle once again by Thursby. And that's the thing. These defensive players, they get in your grasp, you're going down. and they're just so good and technically sound in the fundamentals of the game and making those open field tackles like that.
A whistle before the play. Gerald Green having some lengthy conversations with his officiating crew here.
Officials are,
you know what? The crowd doesn't like it, neither do I.
I don't like it either. The officials are making too many cameos in this movie today. Come on now.
6-point lead for Duncanville. I mean, there wasn't even a play. It hadn't started yet, so what could possibly be taking this much time to discuss?
This thing will probably come erupt if they take this flag and wave it off. This place is going to come unglued on both sides.
Neutral zone infraction, defense, outside. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
We could have called that 10 minutes ago and been on and made the next play. Come on, guys.
Well, I agree with what you said. And we have done, I think, we've done 20 games this year, and very, very rarely do we ever criticize the officials. They do a terrific job game in and game out, and those are guys that, have a unsung position. It's a thankless job as Owen Allen takes the handoff. But I agree with what you said earlier. In a game like this, you don't want to take away from the momentum of the game. You don't want to take away from the flow. And unless it's egregious, you want to let them play.
Amen,
let them play.
Amen, brother.
And when you just stop it down for no reason, I mean, that just really gums up the works.
Now, this is where, as a player, you got to lock in. You've got to put it off. You got to deliver your assignment. This is a big 4th down and 3 here. Attention to detail is critical.
Ewers, toss, complete for a 1st down. Far sideline, he finds Brady Boyd for a 9-yard pickup.
This is the benefit of having the top player in the nation. And he's at the critical position at quarterback. Look at him stare in the teeth of the defense. And it's just a fantastic route by Brady Boyd, first and foremost. He knows where he needs to go to get the 1st down. So you go past it, let the football bring you back, and you still have enough to get the 1st down. That's a receiver and a quarterback hours and hours after practice working on that timing. got going on here?
False start. Offense. Number 64. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I need somebody to explain that to me. They were walking to the offensive line. Unless I missed it. Tell me if I missed it, because
I didn't see.
I thought they were just getting set.
I feel bad for Caden Nawalny, though, because that's his third penalty of the day. Ewers scrambling, in some trouble, and down he goes. He was originally hit by Omari Ibar and then dropped by Christian Whitfield. That is a loss of 4 on the play.
Well, it just really didn't have anything to check it down. And they keep the running back in the backfield. That's usually your check down guy, but he's in there for protection, but they still get home to Quinn Ewers.
Second down and 19. Ewers to Boyd. It's caught inside the 15 to the 14-yard line, a gain of 7. And now time stops as there is a timeout to attend to an injured Dragon over on the far side of the field. The Dragon in question up and starting to walk off under his own power. That's Will Hosey. Senior wide receiver. Here's a look at the play, LD.
Yeah, let's look at this here.
That was the previous, that was the play, the caught by Boyd. And then on the other side is where Hosey got hurt. Check out the top left of your screen here.
That's a flag. You can't do that. You can't hit the receiver as they go past that neutral zone, which is about 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. Should have been a flag.
3rd and 12. Dragons 3 of 7 on 3rd down today. Ewers with time throws for the end zone and over the head of Brady Boyd. Willie Yankton with the coverage on the play. Those two going back and forth this afternoon. That will bring up 4th down, and you'll see Joe McFadden come on. One of the better kickers in the DFW area. McFadden, who signed with UConn, attempting a 31-yarder here. This to bring the Dragons within 3. Kick is on its way, and it is perfect. So Joe McFadden giving the Dragons the first score of the 3rd quarter, and it pulls the Carroll Dragons to within 3 at 20.
With a Joe McFadden field goal, Southlake Carroll pulls within 3. It's now 27-24 in favor of Duncanville with 2:55 to go in the 3rd. McFadden was invited to the All-American Bowl in San Antonio, which was originally scheduled for last Saturday, but it was, of course, canceled this season. Instead, there was a nationally televised special about the student athletes who were named to the All-American teams, highlighting their high school careers and their college choices. So Joe didn't get the All-Star game experience, but he will get some big-time competition starting next year for the UConn Huskies. As an FBS independent, the Huskies schedule is loaded for next year. It includes road trips to Clemson, Army, and Central Florida.
Nice. Joe McFadden will have some great experiences to think about coming up here in the next year. In the meantime, his kick sailed to the 2-yard line, taken by Roderick Daniels, who returned it out to the 20. So Duncanville takes over, leading by 3 with 2:48 left in the 3rd. One of these two teams will advance to play Austin Westlake next week at AT&T Stadium in the 6A Division I State Championship. Grayson James sliding at the 24-yard line and pick up a 4.
That's a pretty good read there by Grayson James, and you look at his numbers there. I thought he had a fantastic first half. I thought he was on point. He anticipated his throws, and he really managed the game in terms of knowing when to run, when not to throw as well.
Barrett Baker limped off the field, the middle linebacker, and he is down on the turf on the Carroll sideline, so that could be a problem for the Dragons as James throws it, intercepted. Not a problem at all. St.K. Williams with the INT, and the Dragons have the ball and a chance to retake the lead.
Well, St.K. Williams has been one of the unsung heroes to me in that first half. I thought he really set the tone with his intensity and the way he came up and tackled, but this was a thing of beauty. Reading the quarterback's eyes, one of the rare times they played zone in this game, and he just undercuts the throw, and I really don't think Grayson James saw him. There he is sitting there reading the curl flat. He drops off under the curl, and he takes it away.
Duncanville with 2 turnovers in the game, Carroll with 1. And we'll see if the Dragons can capitalize. But before that, of course, there is a flag. There is a flag on the field.
Southlake. That's their first short timeout of the half.
But apparently no penalty. There's just a timeout.
Okay.
Called by Carroll. That's their first timeout of the half. And there's St.K. Williams. He had the interception to give the Dragons the ball. Let's send it down to the field and check in with Chris.
And Riley Dodge told me yesterday that St.K. just has a knack for the football, creating turnovers, and he is the spark of this Carroll defense, showing it right there. One of the biggest losses of this season for St.K. He originally committed to the University of Hawaii, decommitted on December 12th, and because of COVID, he did not get to make an official visit to Hawaii.
Yeah, we were joking with Coach Dodge about that. It's like, if you're a really good recruit, why wouldn't you always put Hawaii on your list?
Yes, but
just so you can take the visit, right?
Exactly.
Ewers steps up and tackle from behind as he was brought down to the turf by Kevon Ivey.
He kind of got tackled a little awkwardly at the end of that play too. Well, that's the thing. You're never safe as a quarterback against this defensive line. Just when you think you've got a little room, you step up in the pocket. You better make a quick decision and get to top speed as quick as you can, because these guys are still coming at you.
Second down and 9, the handoff to Allen. Owen Allen busting through, breaking a tackle inside the 10 to the end zone. 37 yards. Owen Allen, touchdown. This kid is amazing.
Yeah, he is.
A sophomore.
And they just continue to chip away at this defensive line. I never would have thought in a million years that any offensive line would be able to control the line of scrimmage against this defensive front. But, Doug, they have continued to stay on track, continue to chip away and run the ball. And lo and behold, these runs get bigger and bigger. And there you saw it bust there for the big one. That's just here. Good blocking there. The center's in perfect technique. And Nawalny, he's been the culprit of a couple of holding penalties, but this one in time puts on, look at him. He's just manned up right there, and it was long enough against Quincy White, and that created that little seam right there, Doug. And Owen Allen hit it 100 miles an hour.
Watch again. I'm going to call this 4 missed tackles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Owen Allen breaks 4 along the way, 37 yards for the touchdown. And I mean, I tell you what, if I'm on if I'm on a ship and it's a hurricane, I want Owen Allen with me because the guy doesn't lose his balance.
He never loses his balance.
He just stays up.
And that's saying a lot, because how many times we just see players go down. When they run in the secondary, they get to that, they just go down. But a lot of missed tackles by this defense. And how about that day he's having there on 24 carries, 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he has righted the ship, so to speak. And this offense is balanced. And they have taken the lead back here.
Kick taken by Daniels in the end zone. He's got a challenge ahead of him at the 15, out across to the 18-yard line, and that's about it. Oh, the Dragons are feeling it now, because not only are you making plays offensively, but your special teams and your defense is making plays as well. That's a recipe for success.
And they're playing inspired football. That's the difference right now. And you look at what the sideline of Duncanville is doing, and they're just not inspired. They're just kind of going out there, going to motion. They've got to match the intensity of the Dragons and go out there and play this game on the field right now.
Malachi Medlock picks up a nice chunky yardage, 8 yards on first down. 2nd down and 2 coming up for the Panthers.
You're going to see the true mettle here of the Duncanville Panthers. Haven't been in this situation and many times, if any, by this team.
James, toss to Daniels. Picks up the first down. Not much more, about a 4-yard gain. Under a minute to play in the 3rd quarter, and Duncanville has found themselves down by 4. The 6th lead change of the day, giving the Dragons a 31-27 lead.
This is where you lean on your senior quarterback. And really, you look at your quarterback, and he's calm, cool, and collected, and I think he is. The rest of the team needs to feed off that, and that's why you want this guy back there pulling the trigger. Everybody calm down. I got this, and I'm under control here.
Power forward for Malachi Medlock. He rips off a 7-yard gain, and the quarter will come to an end on that run. Now, folks, buckle up, because this 4th quarter is going to be a bumpy ride. At the end of 3, the Carroll Dragons 31, the Duncanville Panthers 27 in the Class 6A Division I state semifinals.
CW33 High School Football Showdown is brought to you by Jack in the Box, supporting high school athletics in your community.
Let's play some more football here. I think we need at least 12 more minutes of this, because we have seen a great game today between the Duncanville Panthers and the Carroll Dragons. Good-sized crowd here at Globe Life Park to watch this 6A Division I state semifinal. Duncanville trailing by 4 as they have the ball. 2nd down and 7. James rushed from behind, hit as he threw the ball. Incomplete. Terrific pressure that time being applied by Cade Parks, coming in from that edge.
And that's the other sophomore on this defense, and he's made some great plays, and this time he finally gets free to put a little bit of pressure, and he goes right around Kedrick Williams. Kedrick Williams II, and makes that pass off the mark.
Panthers are 2 of 5 on 3rd down this afternoon, facing a 3rd and 4.
Well, let's see what's going to dial up here. They're going to get man coverage to bring in pressure off the edges here.
James steps up. C.K. Williams has him, throws it incomplete. And the Dragons force a punt on 4th down. C.K. Williams was bringing the heat.
Boy, he is an absolute player. And I love the fact of his versatility, because they can play him anywhere. They move him to the left side, the right side. He's an outstanding rusher to get to the quarterback, and it's disruptive, and that amount of pressure makes the pass go incomplete. and the defense is getting off the field.
Eduardo Galvan will punt, and will be Brady Boyd for the return. Boyd calls for the fair catch and makes it, surrounded by a pack of Panthers. 30-yard kick. You know, a lot of the game today has been dictated by the turnovers. Both teams have capitalized on turnovers with touchdowns, especially early in the game.
Yeah, when you get this level of the playoffs, any kind of mistake, the other team is equipped to make you pay for it, and it's uncharacteristic mistakes. There you see Grayson James powering his way into the end zone, and this is a good play by Sid K. Williams to recognize the coverage coming underneath the pass, and then bang, Doug, here comes that bruiser of a running back, Owen Allen, and going to the house with it.
Owen Allen, the sophomore, has been in beast mode today. 165 yards on the ground. He's 4 yards away from a 2,000-yard season. Ewers, ball batted down. Omari Ibar. Again, the 6'4", 240-pound junior makes a play.
Yeah, these defensive ends are problems. And sometimes when the pass comes out quickly like that, you'd like for your left tackle or your right tackle to cut those tall players just to make sure that the pass doesn't get tipped. But Ibar stays there, knocks it down, and we've got a third medium, 3rd and 8 here.
Big third down for the Dragons, trying to avoid the 3 and out. Pass underneath to Allen, lots of room to run. Allen inside the 40 to the 35-yard line, a 31-yard gain.
That's a perfect play call again. You know, they ran this play a little bit earlier in the first half, and they got just a minimal gain. But this time they caught him in another defense where they're just trying to pin their ears and get back to Ewers. But it's a slip screen to the running back in the middle of the field, and it parted like the Red Sea, and he's all the way down on the 35-yard line here.
Ewers throws incomplete. It was behind his intended receiver, Landon Sampson, and a penalty flag is going to come against Duncanville. Let's take another look, as the penalty will be on Jordan Crook, who hit Landon Sampson as the ball was sailing behind the 2 players.
And the pass, and the ball was clearly gone. And you have to look at it, and we'll probably look at it here in a minute. Could the defender pull up? Or did he continue to run through the receiver? That's what's going to get called for.
Dead ball. After play, late hit. Personal foul. 15-yard penalty. Defense, number 9.
I think that's more unnecessary roughness, not a late hit. And watch this, ball completely gone.
Yeah, that was Jordan Crook, the middle linebacker, and upon further review, I'm going to say that was probably a pretty good call. Here's the handoff to Owen Allen. And he fights his way for a couple of yards down to the 17-yard line.
That's a good play there by Ivy. And watch the screen pass. You're just inviting this defense to do their nature, be aggressive, and then you just slip it right underneath. It's perfectly executed and perfectly timed. You had offensive linemen out there looking for somebody to block, and they didn't. And by then, they were already 20, 30 yards downfield.
2nd down and 8. Hand off to Allen inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 3-yard gain for Allen. And that pushes Owen Allen over the 2,000-yard mark for the season. Not bad for a sophomore running back. Came into the game with 1,831 yards and 24 touchdowns, and now has 2,000 yards and 26 TDs.
How about that? 2,000 yards. Congratulations on that.
Ewers throws near side. Caught by Sampson out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. 5-yard gain, first and goal for the Dragons.
Now you're starting to see Quinn Ewers benefit for what they've had success running the ball. The pocket's a little bit cleaner. He's getting the ball out on time, and these receivers are making the defensive backs chase him. Watch this here. You're going to have the outside receiver cross right there. They're going to cross, and it's a little scissors route. But when he breaks it off, it catches the defense in the little zone void, and he's wide open.
Owen Allen, handoff, he'll pick up 2 as it's a nice job by the Duncanville defense to collapse on him. Christian Whitfield makes the stop.
And this is where the defense is advertised is got to show up now. This is where they've got to at least hold this offense to a field goal attempt.
No real gain there, second down and goal.
Yeah, they've got to pin their ears here. They've got to keep everything underneath, but they've got to make the sure tackle. And the most important thing, you've got to communicate, especially with these man routes. They're going to be crisscrossing and dragging across formations.
Rush coming, Ewers delivers over the head of Brady Boyd and out of the end zone.
I like that call there. And it's the defensive coordinator, Judd Thrash, dialing up a blitz and sending one of your better defensive players into Darius Thursby. He got through free. And that made Quinn Ewers get rid of the football way earlier than he wanted to.
3rd and goal for Carroll. Ewers 11 of 23 on the day. 167 yards and a touchdown. Ewers stepping up, throws to the end zone, incomplete. He was hidden as he delivered. Brady Boyd was the intended receiver, no flags, and that brings up 4th down.
Yeah, they turned up the heat on the pressure. And Jordan Crook, he's the first guy to get in the backfield and make things disruptive. Now he's picked up by the running back. Watch this on the outside, Doug. He's coming free. Owen Allen does a good job, but not good enough, and that forced the quarterback to have to step up.
Joe McFadden on to attempt a 26-yard field goal. Kick is on the way, and it is good. And McFadden's boot gives the Dragons a 7-point lead, 34-27, with 8:34 left in the game.
Well, they accomplished a few things on that one. They took some time off the clock as well, and you still cashed in with some form of some points. And now you make it, a 7-point game, I should say. And your defense has been playing pretty well.
Down to the field, let's check in with Chris.
Coming to CW 33 later this month, Justice comes home with a new generation of Texas Rangers. Supernatural's Jared Padalecki starts as Walker, a lawman, a widower, and a father with a strong moral code who returns home. Don't miss the series premiere of the new Walker, Thursday, January 21st, right here on CW 33.
All right, thank you, Chris. And as we get ready for the Carroll kickoff, it's story time, LD.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm going to tell you a little story. Back when we started doing the game of the week in the year 2006, I know a lot of y'all weren't born then, and it's a long time ago, but we followed the Carroll Dragons on their way to a state championship, led by a young quarterback named Riley Dodge and a head coach named Todd Dodge. Those two combined to help Carroll win a state championship over Austin Westlake at the Alamo Dome that year. You fast forward to 2021, and Todd Dodge has Austin Westlake in the state championship game in 6A Division I. And I'm not saying anything's final here.
I know.
But if Carroll holds on, Riley Dodge will be coaching against his dad.
That's incredible.
For a state championship.
That's incredible.
How about that?
And just to think, those two schools should have played each other the first game of the year to start things off. And that did come to fruition. Obviously, the COVID put a lot of that in jeopardy and probably canceled that. Well, we could have had them start the season and end the season, possibly. A lot of game left in this one, but
Well, this one.
Oh, the stories, partner.
Yes, I like telling stories, but I also realize that this game is far from over, and Duncanville certainly has a lot to say about the outcome. Pass to Chris Hicks, and Hicks will pick up 3.
And there's another player that just hasn't been able to be effective in the game. I think Chris Hicks, you know, we first saw him, he was a kind of a backup player. He kind of rotated in and out, and he's asserted himself to be the starting receiver. They just have not been able to find anybody else but Roderick Daniels downfield in the vertical passing game.
Big 3rd down for the Panthers.
Here they come.
James rolls out of the pocket, looks to run. Across the 35 up to the 37-yard line. That's good for a 1st down.
And there is the benefit of having a mobile quarterback. It will break the backs of many defenses because they do just about everything right, but they don't account for the mobility of the quarterback to get outside of the pocket. And especially, here's the pressure here. They're selling out to try to blitz, and they're playing man, but nobody's assigned to corral the quarterback and keep him contained.
Handoff, Medlock, breaking tackles, and going out of bounds on the far side of the field after an 11-yard run. Malachi Medlock. Boy, just a tremendous load to bring down at 6'2", 220 pounds.
Yeah, you know, both these running backs are just so difficult to get down, and they're physical specimen, especially Medlock. And we've talked about it throughout the entire broadcast. Not going to run away from many defenders, but he will absolutely run you over and make it awful, a nightmare for a defensive back to try to come up and tackle him.
This game started in the sunlight. Now it's underneath the lights here at Globe Life Park. James throws incomplete.
Oh, he had him.
Had a receiver over there on the far side, Chris Hicks. Good coverage with Logan Anderson in the area, but the pass sailed a bit on James, and now 2nd down and 10.
And I know the read may have been the other way. I don't know what he saw right now. And that pass is just way too late because Chris Hicks was running wide open on that sideline, and that safety couldn't get over there in time. That's a missed one there because that could have been a big backbreaker, especially if you hit him with some momentum. He might be able to shake that safety and break one free.
Handoff Medlock. Malachi Medlock with a 9-yard jaunt. That'll make it a very short 3rd down for Duncanville. That's what they needed. They needed to stay ahead of schedule on this drive.
And that's the beauty of when they can get their offensive line in gear and they can run the ball. You see in a nice game. This is a nice bounce back game for Medlock, especially coming off last week. And if they can get the running game, which is they predominantly run 65% of the time, this is going to make this offense difficult to defend in the last stretch of this game.
It's Medlock. His number called again, and it's good for 7 yards and a 1st down.
Here's another methodical drive, Doug. You know, this is what they've been doing. They're just kind of mixing it up. And the offensive coordinator, Eric Mims, is hanging his hat on this run game. And it's been working. It's been able to keep them stable. You mentioned ahead of the chains, keep them on schedule. And that's going to make them dangerous because the play action pass is going to come up at some point in time. And you might be able to go over the top and take a shot here.
Handoff. Medlock, steady dose of him on this drive up to the 29-yard line. 6-yard run for Malachi Medlock. And I feel like at this point in the game is where the key to the game that we talked about with Duncanville, rely on your depth, comes into play. I feel like they're a little bit deeper of a football team, and they need to try and wear down the Dragons at this point in the contest. The question is, can they do it?
I agree with you on that.
Here's Hicks. Inside the 25, taken down at the 23-yard line. Pickup of 8.
This is a little bit of what we saw in the first half. They power them inside with the body blows, so to speak. I'm speaking like a boxer. And then they start going to the to the outside. They start doing the jabs, and this is what they're doing. Now they hit you inside. Here comes the quick play to a speedy receiver, and they attack the perimeter of the defense.
Tackle made by Avion Jones.
Here comes the corner fire at the bottom of the screen.
High snap, and James has to fall on it. Loss of yards.
Boy,
that's a killer right there.
That puts you well behind the chains and off schedule. And that's kind of been a little bit of a trend here in this second half. And just those little details. And thank goodness how athletic Grayson James is. That could have been traumatic, as that ball could have easily gone well behind him for even more yardage.
Second down and 15. Daniels goes in motion. He'll take the pitch. Stopped at the 25-yard line.
What a play.
Terrific job by Josh Spaeth to make the tackle on Roderick Daniels.
That's not easy. That is not easy at all to tackle Roderick Daniels in open space. Good block there. But look at Spaeth. He's the free safety, so he's got to come up and make that play. He's the only guy not blocked, and he did exactly what he's asked to do. It's a big stop there.
Now 3rd and 12. James with time to look downfield. Will have to throw the ball to the sideline. There was nothing available, and Grayson James had to throw the ball away before he took a sack to Travis Keener.
Well, decision time here.
Boy, is it 4th and 12, and the Panthers do not have the luxury of a Joe McFadden on their side.
No, they do not.
That they can roll out for a long field goal attempt.
You know, they just struggled with extra points. They were point blank, and I think you're going to see this offense have to go for it here.
Big play in this game with 3:34 left. 4th and 12 for Duncanville. James rolling, in some trouble, now looks downfield, throws it, incomplete. Over the head of Lontrell Turner, and Josh Spaeth firing up the Dragon faithful here at Globe Life Park.
This is a good defensive call. Dial up the blitz. You don't want to make him comfortable. Get him off his mark. You have him rushing to his offhand. It's a tough throw to make for a right-handed quarterback. And Spaeth, what about the plays he's made on this series? There's that young sophomore to apply pressure, and the defense is there. Now, it's a lot of football left. Duncanville has some timeouts, so this game is far from over. This offense has got to go to work and get some first downs here.
Duncanville has relied on their defense all year long, a defense that only gives up 13 points a game, but they need to make a play here. The Dragons are on top by 7, 34-27 with 3 minutes left in the contest.
Yeah, and Duncanville has all 3 of their timeouts. Their main focus here is to get a 3 and out. That's got to be the MO. You look at Quinn Ewers' numbers today, and hey, I like his game still. I mean, it's just tough. Sometimes you play these good defenses. It's always not going to be pretty, but he's been effective today.
A whistle before the play. 2:42 left on the clock.
Ball start. Offense. Number 61. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
I have missed so many of those today. I'm looking all over the place. I'm looking in the backfield, the secondary, and before the ball even gets set, we got a false start. Man, I have failed you, partner. I just want to say I have failed you today.
I don't think it's you. Second down and 11.
What a play. What a play by Thursby.
Ewers with the keeper, and Janarius Thursby there to make the stop. Timeout now called by Duncanville, and we will take that timeout as well. 2:37 left in the game, and the Dragons trying to put it away in Arlington. It is crunch time for Jadarius Thursby and the Duncanville defense. They've got the Dragons facing a 3rd and 11 with 2:41 left in the game, but Carroll on top by 7.
Yeah, and as a play caller here on offense, do you trust your #1 player in the nation to put the ball in the air and his receivers, or do you play the percentages and run the ball and force the time to run off?
They will go with the handoff. Owen Allen. Allen fighting his way across the 30, up to the 34-yard line, and guess what? That's a first down.
Boy, how about that? How about that? He's been your best offensive player all day in this offensive line, and this defense, I'm telling you, they expected pass. And when they hit him with the running back like that, once he broke that first wave, there was no way he was going to be stopped short of that first down.
Timeout on the field. Tackle was made by Demarion Coleman, but not until after Owen Allen had picked up the first down. Coleman a little slow to get up at the end of the play, now being escorted off by the training staff for the Panthers. You can tell he's still hurting as he goes to the sideline. I believe Duncanville might have asked for a measurement here to confirm that first down. They are bringing the chains on. We saw a measurement last night in the Ryan Mansfield Summit game, and I think it was the first time we'd seen the chains come out all year long.
It was.
Here we go again. A big measurement for the Dragons. Did they have enough for the first down? They did. Owen Allen picks up the first down by the nose of the football.
Oh my gosh.
And that will keep the drive moving with 2:34 left to go in the game.
A lot of Duncanville coaches well beyond the numbers, and they've been told to get back. What you don't want to do is compound things at this moment in time. You still got 2 timeouts. It's a lot of game time left in this thing. You got to make a play. You got to get off the field. You're going to have to burn these 2 timeouts and get a stop on 3rd down. That's your only chance now. And this has been the calling card. It's been their defense. It's what this team has been built around. They have one last rush, one last push in them to stop them and get the ball back for the Panthers.
Owen Allen, 30 carries this afternoon, 185 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I think everybody in the stadium is starting to stand up.
Allen on first down. Carries for a couple and a timeout called by Duncanville.
Yeah, that's the right thing to do. That's what you got to do. You get that first stop, burn the timeout.
It will be 2nd down and 9 after the timeout. Duncanville down to 1 timeout left.
And if you're Southlake Carroll, you got to contain or try to run the ball. And you got to talk to Owen Allen, hey, or any of the ball carriers, hey, be aware of the strip, because they're going to get desperate, especially when he gets to second or after third down, or excuse me, to 3rd down. When he gets to 3rd down, they're going to be trying to strip and do everything they can to get the ball back. So protect the ball, and make them burn timeouts. And hopefully this thing can get salted away here pretty quickly.
You know we have the best statistician in the business, right?
Oh, hey, no doubt.
Robert Walton.
No doubt.
He points this out to me. Only 4 guys have touched the ball for Carroll this afternoon. Quinn Ewers, Owen Allen, Brady Boyd and Landon Sampson. That's it.
That'll get it done, and it's getting it done. And that's the horsepower of the offensive line.
Right there. This is the guy. This is the guy that I'm telling you about.
There he is.
Great job that he has done for us for 15 seasons that this unit has been together. Allen churning his way up to the 40 and the 41-yard line. And Owen Allen is going to salt this game away if the Panthers cannot make a big play.
Dang, I'm really shocked they didn't call it. I probably would have burned a timeout because they're going to allow a lot of time to go off. There's only 20 seconds on the play clock, so that's additional 20 seconds off the game clock.
I think if you'd have asked around the state this week who's going to be playing in the 6A Division I championship, by and large, the answer you would have gotten is a third matchup between Duncanville and Galena Park North Shore. And as it stands right now, neither one of those teams will be at AT&T Stadium next week.
Oh, it does not look like it. And that run there may have very well just done that.
Owen Allen does it again. Burst down for the Dragons. Duncanville down to one timeout. And Dragon Nation is about to celebrate at Globe Life Park.
What a fantastic game overall. But I'm telling you, Quinn Allen, I'm impressed. He put on a fantastic game. Ran tough.
Well, the crazy thing is when you see a guy that is a sophomore, you don't expect him to be as seasoned and as poised as Owen Allen. And not only that, he's just a tough son of a gun.
He's just, I'm telling you, rock solid, man.
The Dragon players congratulating their defensive coordinator and assistant head coach, Lee Munn, and boy, deservedly so.
He did a fantastic job.
He did a remarkable job stepping into the shoes of Riley Dodge today. I know that Riley Dodge would give all the credit in the world to his coaching staff because they did it. I mean, they took what he has given them throughout the week. They came in to Globe Life Park and did exactly what they needed to do to come away with a victory today.
I really, it's not an easy thing to do. I've never been a head coach, but I understand what the preparation to go into it. And man, my hat's off to them. That's just a fantastic job. And
Riley Dodge and his staff are in their third season with the Dragons. In 2018, they went 13-1 and lost in the playoffs to Duncanville. Last year, they went 13-1 and they lost in the playoffs to Duncanville. 2020 is a new season, and yes, we're into 2021 now, but it still is a terrific achievement to be able to get past your nemesis and advance to the state championship. The Dragons hadn't been to the state semifinals since 2011. And now into the state championship where they are certainly no strangers.
No, they are not. They are the Mount Rushmore of Texas high school football programs with state titles, and they've got a chance now to add on to that legacy even more now.
Quinn Ewers will take a final knee, and Globe Life Park is bleeding green this evening as the Southlake Carroll Dragons beat the Duncanville Panthers 34-27 to advance to the 6A Division I state championship game, or should I say the dodgeball.
The dodgeball. There you go. There you go.
What a day.
It's everything we thought it would be. It was, we talked about it last night, two heavyweights going at it. Again, the cliche thrown out there, you hate for either one of these teams to have to lose today. But man, this was a ball game, and you saw just a little bit of everything. And the Dragons just had a little bit more to hold on and win this thing.
Coach Reginald Samples and his terrific Duncanville Panthers will finish their season at 10-2 and a trip to the state semifinals. But the Dragons of Carroll are on their way to the state championship ball game with a 7-point win here in Arlington. We're back with more on the postgame show coming up next on CW33.
CW33 High School Football Showdown is brought to you by USAA, proudly serving military members and their families.
There is a celebration on the field for the Carroll Dragons as they advance to the state championship with a 34-27 win over Duncanville. Let's go down and check it out with Chris Mycoskie.
Thank you, Doug, and joined by acting head coach Lee Munn. And Coach, I know one of our most prominent viewers today was Riley Dodge. This will be your first chance to talk to him after the victory. What do you have to say to Coach back home?
Oh, you know, I mean, I kind of talked to you before the game. He did a great job of being the voice all week and doing everything that he could through Zooms and all that stuff. And so, I mean, the kids and the coaching staff, we just put it all on the line for you. And we love you. And we know that we wish you were here, but, man, we're going to enjoy it when we get back.
Well, let's talk about your sophomore running back, Owen Allen, and the way he stepped up today. With so many superstars on this field between both Carroll and Duncanville, he may have been the biggest.
Yeah, Owen is, you know, sometimes you forget he's a sophomore just because of his build and how tough he runs. But, yeah, I mean, credit goes to obviously Owen and the O-line and the coaches on that side of the ball for putting a great plan together for us to be able to run the ball like we did.
I wanted to talk about that O-line because just a few minutes ago we talked about how the offense was limited to 4 players making contributions, but there was a 5th player who touched that ball in Dylan Anderson and the men around him making it happen.
Yeah, you know, Coach Smith and Coach Gath do a great job with the O-line, and you know they're well coached, and I feel like that they've come together as a unit throughout the year, and they're playing at a really high level right now.
Let's finish up by talking about the defense and Mr. Spaeth in coverage on one of the critical final plays to stop Duncanville on their final attempt.
Yeah, you know, defensively early, I was probably a little just not aggressive as I needed to be. And in the second half, we just really started pressuring them more, especially on third downs, trying to make the quarterback uncomfortable. And our back end did a great job, I thought, of putting bodies on people all day and not letting just guys run free. And you know, Spaeth was a big part of that.
The Dodge Bowl next week. Austin Westlake, the opponent for the Dragons. Should have been your opponent in week 1.
Correct.
I know this is going to be a fun week leading up to it. Not only you on this sideline, but going against your former boss in Coach Todd Dodge.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to know each other pretty well. There's a lot of, you know, both coaching staffs know each other. We're friends with each other. So it's going to be a really fun time. It's going to be interesting because we do know each other so well on both sides of the ball to kind of see what adjustments we make, if any. And, yeah, it's going to be a fun time.
Coach, we appreciate your time.
Thanks,
congratulations to you and the Dragons.
Thank you.
Coach Lee Munn, the acting head coach of the now state finalist Carroll Dragons, Doug.
All right, thanks, Chris. Great job down there on the field. And thanks to Coach Lee Munn for his time as well. It is time to talk to you about our CW33 player of the game. And who else would it be, LD, but Owen Allen?
Yeah, nobody else. He just started the game and stayed consistent early, but then those short 4 or 5 yard runs turned into some big gas, and he continued to wear down this defense, and he was a force, Doug, and changed the tone of the game and kept this offense on track, and he is the reason why they're advancing today.
No doubt Owen Allen deserves the player of the game, but I do want to give just a little bit of a shout out to Joe McFadden, the kicker for Carroll, because this is a 7-point victory.
Yeah.
He had 2 field goals and a lot of extra points in this ball game,
Right on.
and that was a big difference and the final score, 34-27. Dragons beat the Panthers. Back with more in a moment on CW 33. Still very euphoric down on the field at Globe Life Park as the Dragons celebrate a 34-27 victory in the Class 6A Division I state semifinals, on their way to the championship game. And the Hyundai drive of the game started here with an interception as Carroll's C.K. Williams picked off Duncanville, and it turned into Owen Allen on the go, 37 yards for a touchdown. Owen Allen was a beast today, and the Dragons ride him to the victory and on to the state championship game. There's a look at Owen Allen now. I think he's doing some post-game interviews as well. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we wrap up the season here on CW 33. They have a motto in Southlake. It's called Protect the Tradition. You see the youngsters posing with the trophy there. That's where it starts. That's where it starts, right there. And boy, this program has been a dynasty, and they showed it again today with a victory over Duncanville. It was offense, it was special teams, and it was also defense led by number 4, C.K. Williams.
You know, I just feel like he set the tone. He was fundamentally sound in his open field tackling. He was all over the place. He was disruptive, and the versatility paid dividends because he's able to make a pick just like that in coverage. It was just an outstanding defensive performance in the grand scheme of their defense. He's the perfect player, and man, we got to give that guy enough credit as well.
Boy, so many Dragons today playing their part in this victory, and glad to be able to highlight some of those guys for you this evening. And let's highlight our man down on the sideline who has done a terrific job all year long, not only with what he does on the field reporting, but also he's our voice on Twitter and social media. I mean, without him, I don't know what we would do to promote things. Chris, what do you have to say?
Well, just an amazing year with you guys. And, you know, we went into this season not knowing what to expect. And here we are at the end of the state semifinals, the end of our broadcast season. And we had a game every single week. I thought one week for sure that we would end up having to cancel because somebody opted out due to COVID issues. One week we found out a little bit in advance and were able to replace easily. And then another week we lost a game and had to reschedule, and 6 hours later we're on the air with that football game. Yep. Never would have thought that would happen, but it did here in this bizarre season. And obviously my job changed a little bit down here. UIL mandated that I had a mask on the entire time, so that's very different. And then obviously I'm not getting as close to the huddles and the talks with the players because of that distancing issue. So a very different year down here on the sidelines, but we fought through it, and man, so glad to be part of it with you guys. And we ended in a place where, you know, in 1995, I was standing on where the back of the end zone is and running out as a bat boy in the visiting clubhouse for the Texas Rangers. And to come back here in January of 2021 and see it as a football stadium, very strange. You would have told me that in 1995. What are you talking about? It's going to be a football stadium in 2020?
Well, it wasn't too many years after that a radio reporter by the name of Doug Anderson met a young up-and-coming sports journalist by the name of Chris Mycoskie here at the ballpark in Arlington, and that started our relationship so many years ago. So that was pretty cool, and it's pretty cool to have you with us. We certainly appreciate the great work that you did on the sideline this year.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And a great first year with CW 33. You know, this team with Jeff Watts Productions and the two of you have been doing this for so long, and to find a new home this season, a new partner, we enjoyed the ride.
Well, we certainly did, and I was going to say, LD, you know, this is year 15 for us.
Yes, indeed. Starting
off in 2006, and if you take the average of 20 games a year by 15 years, we're in game 300.
Yeah, we're getting on up there, huh?
Together. And that doesn't count the college football, the college basketball, and all that. Yeah. It is my pleasure every week to come into this booth and work with you.
Appreciate it.
You are the best, and I could not ask for a better partner. I just enjoy the heck out of being with you every week, our statistician Robert Walton, and all of the great people that work for Jeff Was Productions, who go unsung so many times, but they deserve all the credit because they're the ones that put in the hours and hours to make this thing happen. We appreciate every one of them, and most of all, we appreciate you, the high school football fan, for giving us a chance to come your way each and every week during the high school football season. 34-27, Dragons beat the Panthers, and we will see you next year. Good night, everybody.